Yo, what's up, everybody? I feel like I'm actually a bit nervous. It's been so long. I haven't live streamed on YouTube since April, maybe. I forgot how to do this, which is crazy. Television shows all the time, but the live stream is a bit different. First off, I wanted to make sure everything technically would work. I feel like we've launched. We're off the ground. We're streaming. People are checking in. I'll go through roll call in just a second, but I'll officially get the live stream going in moments. All right, let's go. What's happening, everybody? Checking in from the home studio, which, yeah, you've seen plenty of videos lately. You've seen me do a bunch of content material, but not live here in what? Months, 7 months, but who's counting? Wanted to come back tonight, do a little Q&A, just kind of feel things out. There's a lot to talk about. A lot of different things going on. I know there's some primary topics. I don't want to get stuck on any one thing or another. So here's a good one to start off with. Do you ever sleep? Occasionally. You know what? It's my goal tonight, and I've said this before. I'm going to stream for like 60 to 90 minutes, and that's it. I've got to pace myself. I don't have the strength and endurance like I used to. But if I'm in bed by 11 and awake by about 7, there's 8 hours, which is more than I usually get. Riz Visuals at work in San Leandro. What's going on? Appreciate you for being here, especially while you're at work. Santa Cruz checking in. Oh, glad to hear it's coming through clean. Eric, I appreciate that compliment. The YouTube game, there's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of competition out there. There's a lot to watch. Like, there's a lot of material. There's a lot of creators, so for you to say that is awesome. Go ahead and shoot away with the questions, everybody. Oh, I just realized. Look at that. I didn't even have that working right. Yeah, I'm a little rusty. Definitely a little rusty. Rangers checking in from Dallas. Ooh, rooted in Oakland. Glad you're in Oakland. Wish everybody were a little bit more rooted. Walnut Creek checking in. As a tech nerd, I love seeing this setup. I wish I had the skills to operate a board like that. Me too, actually. There's a fair amount going on here. Audio, video, some stream decks to help out. Cool looking keyboard. By the way, I recommend everybody get a mechanical keyboard. Mechanical keyboards are the best. Just the clicky sound, you know? Listen. Well, I don't want to type too much here, but watch. I'll type a comment. That sounds pretty cool, right? This is what a mechanical keyboard sounds like. Benicia checking in. Oh, we're on Long Island tonight. Love that. Ohio. CS is watching out in Ohio. Azusa, California. Go Kings, go. You know what? In honor of Todd McClellan alone, I can say that just once. Not too many times, but I'll say it just once, just for Todd. If and when the A's officially move, are you going to cover the Giants? Colton, I appreciate that question. And I wish I had a multitude of answers surrounding that topic and others. Hang on a second. Got froggy all of a sudden. I don't know the answer to that. I don't know the answer to a lot of things, as you might guess. And quite honestly, stuff like that is why I just haven't been live streaming, because I know it's all about Q&A and you have really good questions, and sometimes I don't have the answer. I would love to have the answers for you, but I don't. Will I be at spring training? Also, another answer I do not have. Could it be a fun party? Spring training is always, it's the time of year. It's the baseball again. It's Arizona, obviously. Scottsdale's a fun place to be. Something here is going on with my my inability to scroll up and down the live chat. Like I can't even see here. And I know there's more comments than this. Hang on, if I clear that, can I? Ah, yeah, I got to clear it. Okay. Something got updated here on my the way I do the comments. It's kind of bizarre. Jay Rodriguez, what up, Brody? I saw you at the mall, bro. Did you really? When and where was that? It was probably Stone Ridge Mall or Walnut Creek, maybe? I would have to imagine. I mean, those are the only malls I've been to recently. Am I going to move to Las Vegas to announce for the A's? Yeah, that's... I'm going to say that one's highly unlikely, but I don't know the answer to anything. Whoa, that is quite the HHHH in Las Vegas, Nevada, although I am only watching from there. All right, well, appreciate you being here. Let's see here. 24 to 25. Oh, the year 24-25, as in like next season. Is that the best guess when the Sharks will return? I don't know. You know, quite honestly, Chris, it might even be longer than that. I think what we're realizing now is just how far behind the curve the Sharks were and how deep kind of the hole was to get out of, and all the contracts and commitments and the pipeline that needed to be refreshed. And I think you can start to see a lot of that has already happened. Even watching Will Smith tonight at the Sharks game in Boston kind of gives you the feel of what is about to be and what eventually will be. We're not there yet. We're not even close yet. But I think that's a prominent question among so many. Like, what is the year when they're back? And what does back mean? Does it mean just being relevant, entertaining the playoffs? Does it mean a playoff run? Does it mean, okay, we think this team can go out and win the cup? It's an interesting conversation. It's a good conversation though, too, right? Everybody's got differing opinions. I don't know. I would love to see another year or so and things get back to that place. Concord. Last time I was here, we were having beers. Oh, I like the sound of that. You know what's crazy is right before I came on tonight to do this live stream, I had a handful of walnuts. And then all of a sudden, the little pieces started to get stuck in my teeth. And then like I was coughing a bunch. So I started the stream, realized I needed to go flush things out. Otherwise, and I think that's why I was froggy a second ago. Had to kind of get that all out of my system. A's fans should be sad, but do you believe there's also a chance to celebrate being rid of John Fisher? I mean, you're losing the Oakland A's at this juncture, as far as we know, and I don't think there's anything to celebrate about that. Raleigh, I'm assuming it's Raleigh. 12076. Been an A's fan since you moved here from Baltimore in 96, was an Orioles fan before, now rethinking about going back as an Oriole fan. I mean, this is just the state of things. And I'm here to repeat what you're saying and what a lot of people are saying. These are unprecedented times. Nobody really knows what to do, right? And there's going to be different opinions. There's going to be different perspectives. There's going to be different approaches to all this. Fandom. What do people do? What do they hang on to? What do they not hang on to? Let's jump in the super chat. Skywalker. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And as I always try and explain, the super chat here on my channel, it just goes back to funding all the studio stuff I need here to keep this thing operating, to make more videos and more content. I literally put like almost everything back into this project. And believe it or not, there's a ton of things to pay for. So Skywalker, I just want to declare that and say thank you for the contribution. Now, to your question, what are the chances of the A's playing one more year at the Coliseum? So they are definitely playing 2024 at the Coliseum. The real questions are 25, 26, and 27. None of that is spoken for yet. And there's conversations out there about options, maybe playing half a season at Oracle Park, the other half somewhere else. Summerlin, Nevada, where the AAA team plays. I know that's been thrown out there. Weather-wise, climate-wise, logistically, I'm still uncertain how that goes or what the Players Association would think of that, or what the Players Association would even think about splitting the season between... Ooh, look at the text, by the way. You can see right through it. See, there's a couple things I got to touch up here. Even splitting the season between two home cities. I cannot imagine baseball or the Players Association is fond of that. So there's a lot to be decided. Yes, to answer your question, one more year at the Coliseum. After that, 25 and beyond, we have no clue. And the other part about that, like if you're a free agent right now and you want a multi-year deal, and the Oakland A's come knocking at your door during these winter meetings and say, yeah, we'll sign you to a 2-year deal. You know where you're playing this upcoming season, 24. You have no clue where your home is going to be or what the setup or situation or scenario is going to be like for 25 or beyond. It's going to make it super difficult / near impossible for anybody to really sign up and sign in as a free agent to the A's for longer than 12 months at this point. You really don't know what you're getting into. Let's go back to the super chat. Christopher, I really also appreciate you being here. Have you noticed the parallels between the NBA, Major League Baseball A's franchise and the NBA's Kings in regards to relocation? You know what, Christopher? I've thought about that a lot. And I'm so happy. It's a reason why, you know, quite honestly, I grew up a Warriors fan here in the Bay Area, and it's nothing ever I had against the Kings. It's just that Run TMC was here, fell in love with Chris Mullin and Tim Hardaway and Mitch Richmond and even Billy Owens when he came in, and all Sharunas Marshallonis and all the good Warriors players over the years. So I never had anything against the Kings, but I think in my adult life, and I covered all that stuff, watching them go through, you know, the talk about Virginia Beach and then Anaheim, and then, Seattle's got a deal in place. And then David Stern really stepped in, the late David Stern, commissioner of the NBA, stepped in and stopped the whole thing from happening and really slowed it down, and gave Sacramento the chance to come forward, save its franchise, and look where it's at right now. I mean, Arco Arena was no different than the Coliseum is today. Outdated, underwhelming, underkept over the years. Like it just never, it was probably not built in the greatest of circumstances, like quick, cheap, and easy. And I know that's been documented how when that arena went up, it was a replacement of another Arco Arena that's right down the road in an office park. In fact, that building still stands today. But they did it so it wasn't really meant to last and stand the test of time. And when the Kings had the opportunity to go move into their own arena, Golden One Center, and when it finally all happened, and now you see them back in the playoffs, and now you see them as a destination, and it's almost like watching a plant that was dying and not healthy, and it got down to the final little bud, and you gave it water and you nurtured it. And now it's come back to life. Now it's blossoming again. It's growing. And I think that's the hard thing about, look, I enjoy that for the Kings. I love the Kings and I love Sacramento fans who did everything they could because of that. I don't hold it against Sacramento at all. I love them even more for that. But that's what makes it maybe equally heartbreaking that it didn't work out that way for the A's, at least up to this point. As we know it here today on the final day of November 2023, it's not playing out like that. Who was the hero? Who's the person that stepped in and took care of this to reverse directions, or at least pause it, give it a chance? That just hasn't happened yet. And I think that's obviously the hard part. All right, another one here from Skywalker, who I really appreciate, I apologize. First off, I appreciate you being in the super chat, obviously. I apologize that this text situation is not working out here. I've got some fine tuning to do. And I know exactly what I need to do. I just can't do it while I'm live here. Dublin, California. All right, just made your life. You're buying season tickets behind the plate. God bless you, and I hope to meet you one day at the game. Your whole life's memories are at the Coliseum. And look, that's an approach that some people are going to take. Some people are going to return to the Coliseum because it's all they've ever known. They love it. They want to see it all the way out to the end. I know other people who maybe disagree with that sentiment and are going to do the opposite. I've heard everything and I disagree with nothing. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to approach this. I don't know how to think about it already. I mean, we are months away from baseball again in Oakland. Like, it's going to happen. End of March 2024. But how it happens, the way it plays out, I have no clue at this point. I really don't. All right, let me get back here into the chat. See, there is some issue here that it's not allowing me to just kind of scroll through the comments here. So let me try and do a better job of it. Hi, Brody. Do you think the A's are going to spend more money for the players after relocating? And I appreciate, I don't know what that says, the username, but I appreciate you for being here. And I think, is that 800 yen? That might be the first time I've received any yen here on the channel. That is awesome. But in all seriousness, to answer the question, I think it's going to be really difficult for the A's to spend as much as they need on everything. And I don't say that out of spite. I don't say that because that's my wish or that's my resentful feeling. I say that because you think about what the franchise needs to pay off. Paying for a stadium, even with a loan or financing or whatever, there's a lot to be contributed to the actual building of a stadium and all that stuff that goes with it. Paying for players to the tune of $100 million more, not total, more per season. Like last year, the A's ended their season with a $60-something million payroll. Actually, you know what? It's not how they ended it. Let's say they began the season at about $60 million. The league average on opening day for payroll was $160 million. So to even mess around with the league average, that's $100 million approximately per year more, times 10 years, there's $1 billion extra dollars right there. Stuff you were not spending before, that if you want to even get to the league average, you have to get back to, like, that's what you have to do. Not to mention, again, paying for the stadium. Also not to mention, as far as I know, the A's instantly owe Alameda County $45 million sometime within the next handful of months, because as part of their contract, if they're going to relocate, they have to buy out the rest of their land, their half of the Coliseum. So there's a lot of money to be spent by the A's. And to go back to answering this question, they say they will, and they'll get some more income, but they have so much more to spend than maybe they'll even have for income in the first couple of years. It is hard to see through, and obviously there's not a lot of transparency as part of understanding this. John says, love your work. Hey, John, I really appreciate that. And thank you also for being here in the super chat. Wish I had you during the Chargers move to Los Angeles. Oh, man. You're a Padres fan, but the A's are your AL team. Have you gotten any pushback from the A's because of your YouTube channel? Wow, John, that is very straightforward. And the answer is no. I just want to say this. Since we're all here and we're being honest and we're being upfront, I've tried not to make anything I do or say here personal, right? I've tried not to cross the line of name calling and all the things that are possible and sometimes human do just out of human nature. Angry, frustrated, upset, can't understand something. I've tried to play this as straightforward as possible, right? Where I'm trying to be as transparent as I can. I'm trying to show you things that are out there. Sometimes, with this whole other site that has come up, and now with renderings coming out on Monday, it seems very far-fetched that all net site that was out there would be truly considered. I think it should be considered for a lot of reasons, but my point is I made a video about that the other day, and I brought it up by saying, look, I'm not here to cause more speculation, but I'm going to put some things out in front of you here, and I want you to figure this out. I'm not going to force or push this on you. I just want you to take a look at it. And the other thing, John, is, as you mentioned here, my aim in this YouTube channel is twofold. Number one, it's to cover something that, in my opinion, is getting underserved everywhere else. Now, in the last couple weeks and months, with relocation really being brought up and discussed, you can't miss it, right? Like everybody's got a comment on the topic, and even national outlets are chipping in with commentary and coverage. But for so many months, like of 2020 and 2021 and 2022, and even years before that, there wasn't much coverage here. So number one, I wanted to at least provide this topic a platform. But number two, and this is kind of weird because you go back on history and some other things that have happened and haven't happened in baseball, like when the Giants were apparently going to move to Tampa Bay and didn't. You go back right now and try and find coverage, there's not a lot out there on that topic. And I know stuff here on YouTube, it lives forever. And so I wanted to be part of covering this topic and making sure people knew at least the thought process as it went on and how it was going. So I know that's a long-winded answer, John, but the real thing is no. And I credit everybody who's not pushed back on me. I'm sure the things I do and say and put out there, I'm sure it's not popular with everybody, or it's not popular in certain circles, no doubt. But I'm also not doing this from a place of madness, and hopefully I'm being rational most of the time, and hopefully I'm trying to be ahead of the curve, and there's a lot of secrets out there. There's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that I'm trying to see through and get ahead of and just cover this story. So thank you for asking that and bringing it up and putting it that way. Really do appreciate it. This one from Connor. Connor, thank you for being here. How much do you think COVID screwed the A's in terms of stadium talks and avoiding the situation they are in now? I did a video on this a while back. I think the year 2020, and obviously the economy and a little bit of inflation, and there's a lot of things that made like the Howard Terminal project less reachable, less appealing. And in reverse, if we're questioning right now the ability to put forth a $1.5 billion stadium alone, like if that's a challenge, and the need for $380 million of public money in Nevada, if that's so great, then let's reverse to that $10, $12 billion project at Howard Terminal. How in the heck was that ever supposed to be a thing? If we're now here at the final steps of just a $1.5 billion stadium. So I think the presentation of it, the promise of it, I think looking back, and how would we know any different that we were that far away from it? So I do think the timing of everything definitely had an effect. And the pandemic, sure. That was a year where, 2019, things were moving forward, edging forward. And obviously that entire calendar year, even into the summer of 2021, you remember it was July of 2021, July 20th of 2021 when the city council finally took their own vote on that term sheet. But their own term sheet, not the A's term sheet. They voted in their own term sheet to kind of get the wheels moving on Howard Terminal. So to answer your question, that year of 2020, and that counts. They talk about all the years that they put forward, the A's did, trying to secure Howard Terminal. They count that year, but what in the heck was supposed to happen during that year precisely? The answer is obviously not much, and I don't know. All right, let's see what the other comments we have here. Crisco. Hey, Brody, still this day, I come to your video to copy your Neumann U87 microphone settings. Are they the same as before? Yes, Crisco, they are. And thank you so much for being here in the super chat. I'm a geek for this, but I always appreciate people who compliment the, like the production value, the audio and video quality here on the live streams. I do put forth a pretty good effort to try and make sure everything looks and sounds good. Except for that really bothers me right there. See how you can see through the text? That really bothers me. I've got to redo the key. That's what they call it, redo the key. All right, let me try and clear some of the chat here. Dank, I appreciate that. Clean setup. I'm always trying. I really am. Boy, this is like super frustrating. I haven't done this live chat in a while, and I can't. See, maybe you can see it here. I'm having an issue like scrolling through the comments. When I scroll with the mouse, it's not moving. It's kind of locked in there. I know there were some more comments here. Dante checking in. Dante Corona. John Fisher also owns the Earthquakes, and he got a new stadium for them back in 2015. Still mediocre, and the team hasn't changed much. And that's, that's been widely pointed out. And that's the thing, right? For people to say that, it's not untrue. For me to say that, it is what it is. And so I'll showcase your comment and appreciate you for being here and for being here on the Super Chat. Really do appreciate that. This one, Forever. Appreciate you on the Super Chat. Man, everybody's really coming in strong. I'm so grateful and thankful for that. Thank you so much. Where am I leaning if the A's move? Follow them, follow the Giants, or a new team, or end MLB fandom altogether? Well, a lot of questions there. And for me, and for a lot of you, this might be different. For a lot of you, it's the personal side. For me, it's the personal and professional side. I have a career, I have a job in sports broadcasting that I've been doing for quite some time. And so all of this isn't up to me. If it were just fandom, maybe I would already have the idea of what I'm going to do. But to be quite honest, the fandom side of it for me is almost like, it doesn't matter. The professional side means everything. And I don't know what the future brings. I don't know what opportunities are out there. I really don't know. And we're a ways off from a few different things and understanding them. Let me just say this. My job has been to cover the A's. I've been asked to do that for so many years. I've leaned into it. Ultimately, when people say, you couldn't do the Giants, you hate them. That is the farthest thing from the truth. I've been trying to do my job and trying to do my job well. And it's as simple as that. And yeah, I'm the guy who was behind creating the Bridge Trophy. And again, that's just me trying to showcase my love for this entire region and literally all its teams, the ones that, stay around. And so I don't want to think anything is too far-fetched, but it's really not up to me. And I appreciate people who will support me no matter what, in what I'm allowed to do, in what I want to do, and we're just not there yet. But even the fact that people are asking, and you're one of a couple that's already asked that question, and I appreciate the concern. I really do. And I really don't think I'm at the point of ending baseball fandom. And you know why? Like, I get it. I understand that a lot of people have a really bad taste in their mouth right now over all this stuff. But I still know so many people in baseball, athletes and coaches and managers and front office people that I really, really like. And like, they're part of it too. I'm not going to give up on them and that. I mean, I don't like the business side of what's transpired and how things have gone, and of course not. But to give up on everybody and everything else, that's a really hard thing to even consider at this point. So I know it might be in some people's playbook, but it's not mine. Let me see what else we have here. I think Crisco's coming up big on the super chat again. There was no comment even here, but thank you, Crisco. Man, that is very awesome of you. All right, let's see what else we got here. Man. Things you realize that are important to you. Being able to scroll through the Q&A on the actual Q&A stream you're doing. It like takes a second. I have to almost unlock it. Okay, this one is, I'm not sure if this is going to actually, like the comment is so big here. I'm not sure. Once saw Fisher, I think once, this is from Derek, who I really appreciate this, Derek. Thank you for the super chat. I think once Fisher saw Oakland was going to come through, he panicked because his decline in personal wealth means he couldn't come up with his share. What say you? Also, any thoughts on Kype? I'm going to leave the Kype stuff separate and for a multitude of reasons. And the biggest one being, I mean, we're kind of months removed from that. I don't know if this is the place for me to expand on that. I really don't. And I don't know if there's, at this point, love Kype, but I don't know if there's much more to bring to the table right now, and if that makes any sense. As far as the maybe being afraid to commit, I don't know. I mean, a lot of people have posed that thought, Derek, that it got too real. Like in Oakland, it got so real that it was time to go. It was time to have that summit. It was time to come to an agreement, and things were that close. And I think we all have a bit of that sometimes on a big purchase and a big commitment. And here's the thing, like, you know, in talking about A's ownership and John Fisher, and if that's such a human thing and a human reaction, I think all of us have been there before. Uh-oh, it's time to do the big thing. And we're nervous. And we back out of it. Now, to back out of it and to totally turn your back on it and then go in a totally different direction and change your plans and not tell anybody, now that's all different stuff, right? Like there's a bunch going on there. But the human side of it is sometimes to look something in the face and to have it be intimidating to you. Or maybe there were some finances, and like we talked about before with the pandemic and inflation and stocks, who knows, investments and worth. And who of us knows the real answer behind that? I'm just saying that's a natural thing that I think we've all been through. We've all been in that situation where the inclination might be to pause or back out. Again, backing out and doing the 10 steps after that are two totally different things. All right, let's see what else we got here in the live chat. I guess what I have to do is like wait. I have to wait a while until I can load the next one. Oh, hearts out there for FP Santangelo. That's Dr. GTI, 16V. I believe that's a Castro villain, Dr. GTI. It's good to see you back here, GTI. Yeah, so this is about the KNBR situation and multiple people laid off, prominent on-air personalities, some producers behind the scenes, an entire digital team, some staff members there that have been around for a very long time and are very qualified and have done excellent work for that station. And the first thing that actually hit me more than anything else, because we know the media business is not always in a stable place. We know radio especially goes through some very unfortunate fluctuations and things like this happen, whether it's changing formats, whether it's mass layoffs. But here's the one thing, and I've been through this in my life. I've been laid off once. It was back in 2007, and it was literally this time of year. I think it was actually the first couple days of December 2007. Now, back then, I didn't have a family to provide for and take care of, and Didn't have a lot of financial commitments, stuff like that. So, I mean, single, young, a job was a job, and I wanted it, and I loved it, and I was passionate about where I worked, Channel 36. And then one day I got a phone call, like weeks before Christmas, between Thanksgiving and Christmas, just like this. And I'm sharing this personal story to get back to KNBR. But I think it's just the hardest thing and the most awful thing any time of year, but especially this time of year, to do that to people. You think about a corporate decision, which it sounds like this was. I mean, do this in October. Do this in January. Leave the holidays for people alone. This is kind of like it's like a no-fly zone for that stuff. And somebody still went forward with that decision-making process. Somebody somewhere. KNBR, and really 95.7 The Game, they've changed over the years. The model of radio has changed. Maybe their budgets have changed. Their ambitions have changed. And it's amazing. Like, people still love sports content. And I know there's YouTube, and there's every car has, a Bluetooth connection to a phone, and maybe people are listening to podcasts and YouTube, but like, you're KNBR, you have so many guests and knowledgeable hosts and resources and access. How did you get behind the curve of podcasters? Why didn't you become the podcaster? Why didn't you become the premier YouTuber and podcaster? And sorry, you know what, GTI, for Polymac and for FP specifically, like the most maybe prominent on-air folks who have lost their jobs. It's crazy. I used to work with, I never really got to know Polymac, but FP I worked with at NBC Sports way back when it was Comcast Sportsnet in 2009. I think he did my first season there, or part of it, as an A's analyst. Imagine that back in the day. I liked working with FP. I know he got into obviously calling games for the Nats, and then coming back to San Francisco and working at KNBR. And so, yeah, of course, this hits personally too. My point is the timing of where things are at, the timing of when this happened, never good. FP was so classy on Twitter. I just saw what he said. Hey, thanks. Appreciated it. Had a good time. Look forward to what's next. But he didn't deserve that. Others didn't deserve that. I don't see how radio got itself into this position. If you're saying, well, people don't listen to the radio, yeah, well, they're listening to something. How did you not put your material in front of them still? And that's not the fault of the ground level workers, the show hosts and the producers. That's not their job to figure out how to get their show to you. It's their job to make the show interesting and to be captivating and to have you come back for more. But the fact that like radio has put itself in this spot, or has got to this place where maybe it's not what it used to be, or the audience just isn't there, or people have other options, so they go elsewhere. Well, how did you get to that point? I hate to see it. I really do. And, it's not my job directly. It's part of my industry. And I really would like someday the opportunity to have a radio show, but I just don't know at this point if it makes any sense. And of course I'm like a on-camera person. Like, look at the home studio here, right? I mean, this is what I've been doing, but the thought of doing a show that's completely off camera, that's a little bit more intimate to the ear. But I don't know if radio makes sense anymore, or getting into it makes sense anymore. So, all right, let's see what else is out here on the live chat. Having so many issues. Oh, the Cali kid. Important question. Have you seen Barbie? If so, your opinion. Oh, the Cali kid. This is what I'm here for, by the way. This is the type of content I'm here for. I absolutely saw Barbie. I saw it, I think for my wife's birthday. It was me, her, a couple of her friends, her sister, one of her sisters, and her mom, and me, and that was it. I thought the Barbie movie was super clever. right? Because it had a lot of messages. It had a lot of themes, important stuff, thought-provoking stuff. And as much as some things they kind of hit you over the head with to be, blunt and blatant, there were other like nuances there and finer points which, they classily, with class, they weaved into the storyline, right? And I also think for Mattel to commit to that movie and lean into the fact that maybe they're a bit guilty of stereotyping and body shaming and all that stuff, right? For them to kind of say, yeah, we messed up. Yeah, we weren't perfect either. You got to give them credit. Now, they're doing that at the same time as they're probably like raking in the dough for making that movie and licensing it. But you got to give them credit for actually looking in the mirror as part of that movie and letting that be part of the storyline, to be quite honest with you. So that's my opinion of the Barbie movie. If anybody wants to ask me about the Taylor Swift Eras Tour movie, which I haven't seen yet, I was going to go see it when it was out, and we missed it. But I hear it's coming out on December 13th, apparently on streaming. So it'll be definitely playing at the Brazil House. All right. Illustrado. Hey, Brody. If and when our A's move to Vegas, will you still follow the team? FYI, I live in Henderson, and I'm not sure I can support Fisher any longer. You know what? It's all out there for me to find out still. I really, and you know what? I mentioned at the top here that I haven't done a live stream. In fact, I think it's the title of this video. I have not done a live stream in the last 7 months, basically since April 19th, when the A's had that first binding agreement that apparently wasn't so binding. And one of the reasons why is because I know this question is going to come up, and I don't have an answer. I don't know. I mean, I don't even know what the options are going to be. That has not been laid out for me yet. I don't know if someday that's a choice or it's something I have to do either way, or I have to make a choice, or somebody else is going to choose for me. And to be quite honest with you, it's a situation that doesn't always let me rest easy at night. I put a lot into the job, the career, the profession, trying to get better, the skill set. And to know that this is a large component of it. It's not everything I do. Like tonight, did a Sharks game. I love the Sharks. I don't want that to go away either. And I'm not saying it will or won't. I do not know the course of the future for me based on the A's relocation. I don't know. And I wish I did. Trust me, I wish I did. It's a lot easier to digest things when you feel like you have a little bit of control over it or you feel like it's stable. This is such an unstable thing that I'm kind of hanging along for the ride on right now. That's just kind of the way it is. All right, let's see who else is. I saw Ryan Gosling comment. Here's the question. How can I get back to it? They should have casted you as the main Ken over Ryan Gosling. Is that FR for real? Does that FR mean for real? Samuel. I recognize you. Thanks for being here, buddy. Dank. Not only do I have a pilot license, I have a commercial pilot license. You know what? My wallet's not here. My wallet's in the other room. But I was, I still am a commercial flight instructor. Or I'm a certified flight instructor, commercial pilot license certified flight instructor. And so actually I mentioned before about being laid off in 2007. In 2008, for a whole year, I taught people how to fly out at Livermore Airport. I love flying. So Dank, great name. Thanks for bringing that up. I really appreciate it. Any chance of some flight simulator action on this live stream? I can't do that because I used to have the Xbox and stuff over here. Now I've moved some things around. By the way, I've got a whole setup here, and I'm not sure if I can even... let me see if I can do this here. I'm not sure if I'm even supposed to do this, But check this out. I can actually take a peek on them. I'm just going to do it real quick. Oh, looks like there's Warriors coverage. Did you see that right there? I can actually, and I'm not going to do it for more than that, but that's Warriors post game over there. So I've got a new setup here in the home studio. I can bring in a ton more sources. In fact, we haven't even really got into this yet. Do you want to see? You want to see around the world? That's something called a geochron. That's where it's daytime and nighttime and all the weather to go along with it. There's a bunch of satellites out there. I've also got this, oh, look at that. I've also got this professional broadcast clock that I can put that camera over. I can do that. And there's a bunch of things that I've been working on here. Oh, I know something we definitely got to get into. If you're not subscribing to the channel, let me stop you right here, right now. Just make sure, down below, that you subscribe to the channel. See, I got to remember to do that. I built all this stuff, and then I forget to, actually do it in the moment. All right, let's get back to the live chat. You know what I should do next time? I should take phone calls, and I don't think we're going to get there tonight. I don't mean to get everybody excited, but I'm pretty sure we have the ability to. I could eventually. You can leave a voicemail some other time, or right now. I won't be able to answer it, obviously, but that will be the hotline, 510-343-3640. You can always leave me a message, and when I do call-ins, that's going to be the number. Zachary checking in. What am I thinking the new Vegas ballpark will look like? Will it look more like a Jewel Box ballpark or the Coliseum? I have no clue, Zachary, what to expect when it comes out on Monday at 2 p.m. Pacific time. But to your point, geometry of that stadium and the design that they choose is going to be critical, because this stadium cannot just host baseball. If they're really trying to meet their numbers and get up to paying back the bonds that are going to be floated in Clark County, they need 2.4 million attendees per year. To do that with baseball only, it would require 81 plus sellouts, almost sellouts for 30 straight years. 30 straight years. Hopefully that wasn't too loud. And so they need to host other events. They need to figure out a way to make that a tax revenue money-making machine. And so the stadium, in my opinion, has to be convenient for concerts. It has to be convenient for maybe basketball, but why would a team or why would an NCAA tournament play there if they could just go over to Allegiant Stadium and have 70,000, or T-Mobile Arena, or the new NBA arena that's going to be right down the road? I don't know. All I know is they have 9 acres to put this stadium on, and that itself is going to be a challenge. Space-wise, retractable roof-wise, no other ballpark in the country has done this. Is it impossible? No, but is there a reason nobody else has done this? Yeah, probably. The Cali kid saw the Swift Eras Tour concert twice, and it's wonderful. I can't wait. Did I watch the F1 in Vegas? If so, what are my thoughts on the event? So I can't say that I stayed up to watch it live. I saw clips and highlights, and I saw a bunch of social media, and I saw what it looked like, and it was impressive. I mean, I knew that part would not let anybody down. And I know there was also rain in the forecast for that Friday and or Saturday night. I guess that wasn't really a problem as much as the pothole was that on Thursday or Friday night. My thoughts on the event are really only one thing. It was probably worth it for anybody who showed up, unless you paid all that money to go see the practice session and then you didn't. You saw 8 minutes of it. But for F1, of course, probably made some money. For most of the businesses, or at least the bigger businesses, they probably made some extra money. To what degree, I don't know. But for a lot of businesses, small ones, obscure ones that aren't really on the strip, they, I think, lost business. And for residents of Las Vegas, with all that extra traffic and things being shut down and the Bellagio fountains being built over and all the palm trees they cut down, F1 went in there and ravaged the strip and the course for almost 2 months preceding it. And I just heard the other day that they're not going to like be fully out of there, like on a teardown, until close to New Year's Eve. That's like basically October to January every single year. You understand, this was not a one-off. There's 10 years, there's 9 more years of F1 races as of right now in Las Vegas. So they're basically going to spend 3+ months out of every year building up and tearing down. Yuck. As for the event, I knew it would be scenic. Driving past the Sphere and all the lights and bells and whistles, very cool. F1 and racing are not my thing necessarily, but I can look at it and appreciate it, of course. So I think it was worth it for some. It was worth it for a small few. Worth it for everybody. Worth it for Clark County, who just had to pay $40 million out of pocket to fix up the roads, to pay half of the total $80 cost that they were kind of forced into doing. Probably not worth it for them either. But worth it for some, and, well, that's why it happened. Question is for the new Oakland Bees playing at Laney. Indy baseball is awesome. Super pumped and want to know more about them. That's Adam asking the question. And maybe Adam was responding to somebody else there. Sorry, I just clicked on the last possible thing I could. They're going to play at Laney College. That's their plan. I can't wait to find out more about them. I also think they're very much up against it. I actually published a video this morning, some thoughts, some commentary on, the difficulties they face and what the Ballers are and what the Ballers are not. Not a replacement of the A's, should definitely not be Oakland's answer to everything that's happened, but it is a nice thing that some genuine people are putting together for the fans who want an outlet and want something productive. So check out my video for more on that. And really, I think I did a pretty good approach on that one in terms of spelling it out. Let's see here. Oh, favorite East Bay golf course. All right, LL Cool J. Oh, I like the Lincoln Park avatar there. Here's my admission. I'm terrible at golf. I don't get out enough. I barely get out to the driving range. When my son gets a little bit older and his school days are a little bit longer, I'm going to get out and get into golf. You got to give me like 3 years to answer that question properly. I got no answer for you right now. And I apologize. That's pathetic on I know where the golf courses are, but I don't even have a favorite. I can't tell you one or the other because I don't play them all yet. I got clubs. I hit at the simulator, by the way, at Fieldwork over in San Ramon. That was a lot of fun. But I really have to get out there and play some golf, get into it, and catch up to where everybody else is at. Do I subscribe to any streaming services? Yeah. A lot of them, actually. Probably almost all of them, if I'm being honest. And I think some come with, like, we have an Xfinity subscription, and I think some of the streaming subscriptions that I utilize are part of that package. All right, let's see what else we got here. What are my thoughts on the Bermuda Triangle? Is it real? I hope I never actually get sucked into it. I don't know. Yeah, it's like it might have been something that there was a belief in prior decades, a long time ago. I don't know. Wait a second, Derek. YouTube keeps unsubscribing you from many channels, including mine. That's not cool. I don't like that. But thanks for letting me know about that. Joseph, AI sports writers, they are coming for your job. Well, here's the good thing about my job specifically and what I do. I stutter so much and I stumble over my words and I'm not perfect. Like AI, if AI were doing this live stream, AI would be perfect and flawless. But apparently a lot of you relate to imperfections, which I'm really good at. So, I'll say this, as it relates to AI, I'm not saying people are going to revolt against artificial intelligence, but I do think, okay, for example, a lot of things are made by machines. Like this Apple TV remote, probably made by a machine somewhere. I don't know that this was handcrafted, right? So whatever. They make a bunch of these. But I'm a microphone geek. I'm a tech geek. Like, this microphone was handmade in Germany, and it costs a pretty penny. But to me, it's worth it, right? For everything I do, and it does exactly what I want. I love it. It's an investment, really. But it's handcrafted. And so at some point, when machines started making everything, and you're like, well, why do we even need humans? Well, because people still appreciate something that's handcrafted, the attention to detail of a human, something only a human could do. And to go back to that comment, ooh, I think I lost it there. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. AI sports writers, right? Are they coming for your job? At some point, I mean, people are going to say, well, yeah, I might be reading an AI article about, coverage of a game, but I want the human's perspective. Who cares what a robot thinks? Who cares what a computer thinks? So I think, as much as there's a big AI push, I think there's going to be an AI recession almost at some point for some things. Don't get me wrong. Chat GPT is going to be used, and the Bing image generator is going to be used, all that stuff. But at some point, people are going to say, I think I'd rather have a human do this, or I'd rather hear from a human on this. I can relate to that. Do you think anything will be announced about expansion teams during the winter meetings? I do not. I think Major League Baseball is deep enough in what's going on with Oakland and Las Vegas, as well as what's going on with Tampa. People saw that situation kind of come and go. But the next couple weeks and months, I think, are going to be critical to really see how that plays out. Everybody assumed that, there's a deal struck with Tampa. They're going to fund this. It's going to move forward. Far as I understand, there are some major votes and right now some major negotiating going on behind the scenes to try and get that to happen, on that Tropicana site. The gas plant district. The Rays thing was kind of announced as, done deal, stadium project. We got it all figured out. And then they found out, whoa, this isn't what it seems. And there's a lot more to this than it seems. And I'm not rooting against the Rays finding a new home. I want everybody to stay where they're at. If you want to add more teams, that's great. Like, the Rays have proved that they can suffice in Tampa. But here's the other, St. Pete, I should say. Here's the other thing. We're talking with the Rays. They're either in Tampa or St. Pete. And I know Orlando's out there, 90 miles away or whatever. But so long as they stay in the region, it's less of a problem. In the Oakland situation, it's not like the A's are moving to San Jose or to Dublin when people talk about that or whatever. They are leaving the region entirely. That's their plan. So the Tampa thing, to me, it's got less tension and less drama because at this point, they're not talking about a major move. Oh, but did you guys also see this? There's a bunch of controversies turned around with the Royals and the stadium complex situation in Kansas City. And they're thinking both teams might be trying to negotiate themselves out and away. Is it Jefferson County? I'm not sure, but there's a lot going on there too. So I retweeted somebody about it this morning. Here we go again. Baseball and football teams need new stadiums, and it just doesn't come easy, so they threaten to leave. That's early on in the process, but we'll see how that one goes. All right, who will make the playoffs first? Sharks or the A's? Well, the A's have had more success, rebuilding quicker. The A's have also gone through this process a lot more times. The Sharks were in so deep, and it was the product of winning so much, the price they had to pay. I also think it's much harder to develop a hockey team from the inside than it is a baseball team, and I don't know why. It's just the way it is. I think one of the easiest teams to turn around is an NBA team. You have a lot fewer players per team, and your draft picks go almost instantly into making your NBA team better. But I digress. Put it to you this way. If we're talking years away, and if things play out in real life like they are on paper, I only care about one team getting back to the playoffs, and that's the Sharks. But there's also this. And I've been so fortunate to cover both these teams for so long, right? There's no question about that. The win-loss record that I've been attached to in the last couple years, I mean, the A's 2 seasons ago lost 102 games, 60 and 102. This last year, 50 and 112. Right now, the Sharks have 12 points in their first 23 games. This is on pace to be one of the worst Sharks season ever, right after the last 2 worst Oakland A's seasons ever. The timing and sequence of this is, you know what it's doing? It's giving your boy a lot of grace. And let me just say it like this. If I didn't care, it would be easy. I'd shake it off like Taylor Swift. But I give a rip. That's why I have so many grays. All right, we got to get into the super chat. Calculon. Gosh, I'm so terrible at pronunciations on this. Calculon, I really appreciate you being here in the super chat. Thank you so much for saying that. I'm lucky to have you here on the channel and supporting me. I agree with you. Always be pulling for the Sharks. Always near and dear to my heart, and that means a lot. If I wasn't clear before, like what the last 6-7 months have been like on a personal level, it's been rough. And so for you and others to say things like that and similar to it, it just means a lot. I really do appreciate that. Jim, what's going on? What's up from Richmond? Do you think that a team or an expansion team from other sports will come to Oakland or the East Bay? I think you're a little bit locked in. Let's just go sport by sport for a second. I mean, the NFL is making its next moves, I think, internationally. Mexico City, Europe, there's other options, and the NFL is going to just move right on past the continental United States. Quite honestly, they're probably more aiming for the global thing. The NBA, you've already got the Warriors in San Francisco. You've got the Sacramento Kings 90 miles away. That's never seemed likely. The NHL, no. I mean, it's just the Sharks are doing well. This is not a 2-team NHL market. There's no question about that. So it brings us to baseball. Well, and, soccer leagues and opportunities. There's obviously MLS in San Jose. You've got the Roots in Oakland. I mean, I think the biggest question we circle back to is there were 2 baseball teams for a lot of years here. And to a large degree of success on and off the field, like on the field with play and in the stands with attendance. And you know what? The dynamics totally shifted when Pac Bell Park opened in 2000. Like up till that point, A's and Giants, Coliseum and Candlestick, it was just kind of back and forth. And then the Giants literally got shot out of a cannon. They got shot up 101 out of a cannon from Candlestick to Pac Bell Park, and the attendance it changed and it never went back. And my point in saying that is that for so long, there were enough fans and people bought into the Oakland A's. And at this point, with all the turmoil that A's fans and baseball fans in the East Bay have gone through, I almost wonder, what's the level of trauma and damage that they've been through to the point that can they even properly recover from this? I mean, what if baseball came out and said, you know what, we've got an expansion team for you. We see Howard Terminal. We see the Coliseum site. We see that Oakland has been a good market and maybe could be again. We'll throw this your direction. I think you'd first off, you almost want a little bit of time to pass so that this region can kind of heal a little bit and regenerate. But are there so many people that have been turned off by how it's gone that they don't exist anymore? They're just not around with their fandom. I don't know. So appreciate that question. And I think baseball's probably the most likely answer. And I really wish that Rob Manfred, when asked about this during the owners' meetings and the press conference there, he kind of put Oakland in a line. Said, hey, stand in line. When we're ready to announce this, Oakland will have as good a chance as any other city that wants a team. Give a little priority, dude. Have a little loyalty, dude. Come on. All right, let's see where we're at here with the old live chat. I'm back in the Bermuda Triangle commentary here. It's crazy. It's crazy what happens with the live chat. I get so far behind, and then I try and scroll back. Oh, Ryan, thank you for being here again in the super chat. Thoughts on San Jose State not making the Mountain West title game? Nice to see you live again. Hope to see you at the tank. Yeah, me too, Ryan. Thank you for saying that. I didn't see this happen firsthand, and I didn't do all the research. In fact, I was following my colleague and buddy Mark Spears, journalist Mark Spears, who is also a San Jose State guy, and he made it clear to me that San Jose State only didn't get in because of a computer simulation, and UNLV did get in, which UNLV is also, by the way, technically hosting the game in Allegiant Stadium. Computer simulation, huh? So computer simulation figured out the title game, not by wins and losses and what humans thought, but they put it up to a computer. That is a failure of the conference. First off, there's a lot of failure in college sports these days. Did a video recently about the Pac-12. That is an unbelievable situation. That is a catastrophic failure of how that was allowed to happen. And you know what? Let me just also say this about the Pac-12. I think there were deals out there to be had, like media rights deals out there to be had. Apparently, maybe even Pac-12 working with Apple to have like their own app or be part of Apple TV, kind of like how Major League Baseball has Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV. Could you imagine how popular that would be? Every young person's got a phone. Like, it would make so much sense. I didn't want to show you what was on my phone. There's like a ton of notifications. Just making sure the world wasn't ending. That would have been so dynamic. And I heard the money and the price and the deal were all in line with what you'd expect. And they didn't take it because they thought they could get more. And then they tried and then they didn't. And then all the schools went their own ways. The Pac-12, like, giving up is so ridiculous. It's one of a few ridiculous sports stories these days. And the giving up part, too. The Pac-12, something that's been around for more than 100 years. And for all purposes, should have no problem existing. It really shouldn't. West Coast powerhouse schools, and they can't compete? Really? Markets like the Bay Area, Los Angeles, the Pacific Northwest, adding Utah, Colorado over the years, the Arizona schools. Like, what? How did this happen? How did this flop so bad? So, sorry, Ryan, I know you were asking about San Jose State, and I guess my alma mater, maybe. Do you go there too, or you went there too? Sorry, I sidetracked it there, but that's ridiculous, right? In terms of a computer picking who would play in the title game, and it just happened to be the host team. It's kind of like how in the NHL, Chicago really got the first pick. They only had like 2% better odds than the Sharks to pick first overall in the lottery last year to get, Connor Bedard. Chicago got that? Really? 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 No, really? Really? All right. Too much camera fun there. This is when it gets out of hand, when I shouldn't have that at my control. That's why, like on real TV shows, they don't let me push the buttons. That's how the TV shows would go. Here's a comment. MLB could have had a new stadium in Oakland and an expansion team with expansion fees in Las Vegas. Would have been a win-win. Dan, that is such a great thought, and I've said that throughout this entire process. We're talking, and I know people on here there's a lot of Las Vegas viewers on this channel because of my coverage. But we're always pitting like Oakland versus Las Vegas, and the Raiders went there, and Oakland hates Las Vegas, and vice versa. It doesn't have to be this. You could have a team in Oakland do really, really well, and you could get an expansion fee in Las Vegas, kind of like the NBA is about to do. Or maybe not. Are the Dallas Mavericks moving to Las Vegas? That can't be. Follow that story, by the way. There is some interesting stuff going on there, and why Mark Cuban is up and out of almost everything instantly. That's an interesting one. Oh, what is your setup? Can I share it? Okay, real quick. All the audio, U87, Neumann U87 microphone goes through the Apollo Twin X for audio processing. Then it goes into this Soundcraft mixer over here. By the way, all this stuff that you see right here, it used to be my old audio processing. Now it's just hooked up, so when I talk, it does all the cool lights. That's literally it. All right, back from up above here, a keyboard to control my computer. That's a multi-view monitor for this, an ATEM Mini Extreme by Blackmagic Design. It's a video switcher. Over here, I just have the clock, that screen with the digital clock on it. And then down here, I have an extra computer screen so I can read the chats and comments. You can't really see it, but way out there, there's kind of that screen behind a pole. There's also a soundproof barrier right here. But the camera I'm talking to is over there. And yeah, fake plant behind me, LED lights, all that stuff. That's the cheap $2 version of my setup, and can I share it? So there you go. 9:49 about the Mountain West title game. It's the same computer simulation that handled the F1 planning and the A's move to Las Vegas. For the record, I think I know who that human is. It's the Aguero 10,000 computer. Brody or Bordy. Thomas Bordello. The first place team in the Mountain West Conference hosts the conference championship game, not because Las Vegas is the host. Well, from my understanding, were there identical records between San Jose State and UNLV? Here, let's just go look this up real fast. There's that mechanical keyboard again. Mountain West. Oh yeah, right? So here, let's see if I can do a little bit of this right here. Okay, here's the Mountain West standings. Make them a little bigger because I know we're on a small screen here. So Boise State, and there's three teams in conference that are 6-2. And San Jose State won 6 in a row to end the season. In fact, I think their last game was against UNLV. They beat them, right? So if you beat UNLV and you're both 6-2, and I get it, overall they were 9-3, but that's out of conference games. And who are you? You playing the community college for maybe one of your games? So how does this team, San Jose State, not get in, and UNLV does get in with identical records, identical conference records, and San Jose State beat UNLV head-to-head? Okie dokie. Glad we looked that one up. Paul Giamatti for commissioner. Well, his dad was. You know what's crazy is I vividly remember that because his dad was commissioner during the earthquake of '89, and they had a lot of things to sort out in terms of when it would resume and all that stuff. Let's see what else is. Jonathan Rice, you're the man behind the curtain. Wizard of Oz. Well, I got a lot of controls here at the home studio, that's for sure. Has anyone asked Pete Rose about his thoughts about the A's moving to Vegas with a casino next to it? Will they be more likely to let him into the Hall of Fame as a result? Oh my goodness. That's a fair question. And it's amazing, right? Like, baseball was so obviously critical about, what they accused him of. I don't know. Who knows ultimately how it exactly went, but Yeah, now for baseball to say, oh, we're getting into the gambling game. We're literally putting, a stadium right next to casinos and betting. But I guess, look, betting on sports is, you could do it anywhere, anytime now. Well, at least in the legal states you can. Although I think people do it everywhere. Let's see what else we got here. Man, I'll tell you what I've got. I've got two things. In fact, I'm going to write this stuff down. Two things that I've got to do before next time. One of them is to figure out the text thing. On all the super chats, like the text is not showing up right. Super chat. And the other one is, like, when I go to read these comments, I'm having issues scrolling here. I don't know if it's a software thing or have to re-download this. We'll figure it out. All right. Let's see what we got here. When is Manfred out of here? I think Rob Manfred just recently signed like an extension. Excuse me. Hang on a second. I'm pretty sure Rob Manfred has just been extended to be baseball's commissioner for like 6-7 more years, something like that. That was pretty recent. All right, let's see what else is here on the live chat. Man, I really appreciate everybody for being here. Wilson Wong, love your work. Oh, class of Castro Valley High School 2001. And remembered you were class president when I was a freshman? Maybe I was. Was I? I don't remember. I recalled you used to do, I did do that. Of course I did the daily announcements. We had our own in-house television station. You were destined for a broadcasting career. Thanks, Wilson, for saying that. That means a lot. Yeah, I think maybe I did. I was in some class president type, maybe, right? Or no? I don't remember, actually. It's pretty scary, Wilson. And I don't know if we're similar age, 2 years apart. I forget a lot of things about the old days. I do. And I'm not proud of that. I just, like what you just said, I'm now racking my brain and I'm not 100% sure. Yikes, I should know that about myself. All right, let's see what else is here. Did I see the Oakland Ballers news? Dylan is stoked. Dylan, thank you for being here on the Super Chat. Of course I did. I put out a video this morning. You should check it out here on the channel when you get a chance. It's my deeper thoughts about the Oakland Ballers. What they are, what they aren't, what's behind it. I've known about that situation for a while now. I obviously had a heads up. I interviewed Paul and Brian, the two co-founders, before their big announcement back on Tuesday. And so I've had more time to settle this in because I think a lot of people now are still, 48 hours removed from understanding it, processing it. What does this mean? I've had obviously a lot more time to really mull it over. And so I made a video. I'll refer to, that. But I think it's important that people don't just assume that this is the replacement for the A's and this is supposed to make everything better. And, there's a lot of opportunity here and there's a lot of fun to be had and there's some community to be built with this. But, it's a really tough time for those fine people, those very genuine people to be embarking on this. It is a tough assignment to pull off. And they've already done so much work getting this expansion thing and team going. Go Trojans. I'm with you, buddy. Oh, somebody else here also commented, Illustrato, on the multicolored pen. Where is it, man? My desk is so messy in here. Like, I've got to do a better job on this. What is this stuff? There's like 4 remotes in here. So this is the old Bic 4-color pen. I've also done a video on this on my channel. And this, to me, is like every broadcaster should have one of these. And most do, by the way. But these are, they're old school. They remind me of literally the 80s. I wanted one when I was a kid, and now I have boxes of them as an adult. And I use them all the time. I have scored thousands of baseball games with a pen just like, not this pen, but they last forever, by the way. Honestly, the last time I bought a round of boxes, a box of these, like a 12-pack, it's like 5 years ago. And I'm not even halfway through the box yet. Some of these pens have lasted me like multiple baseball seasons. And I try not to lose them. I always put them right back in my bag at work or back here in the desk. But yeah, they're amazing. They're also good for hockey scorecards, all that stuff. So highly endorse those. All right, let's see what else is in the old live chat here. Rhodes Funk. Brody, how many quarter zips are in your wardrobe? Do you guys know that? You notice how many? What do we have? A Hurley Hawaii shirt on below this. I do wear a ton of these quarter zips, don't I? I don't know why. I guess I could just do t-shirt in here, but I feel like that's too casual. I feel like this is dressy. It's really not. By the way, let's play the guessing game. What pants is Brazil wearing right? What pants is Brazil wearing right now? If you guessed sweatpants by the North Face, then you are absolutely correct. And sometimes, a lot of times when I'm in here making videos, especially during the summer, shorts. And quite often, board shorts. Yeah. I like to breathe. I like to let it breathe in here a little bit. To answer your question, Rhodes, which is a good question, and if you were kind of like trying to chirp me a little bit, I want that. I appreciate you. I appreciate you kind of calling me out on that, because the answer is a lot. It's probably like a dozen. I probably have a dozen, and this one's Lululemon. Most of them are. I say that like it's a bad thing. I got into these metal vent quarter zips or whatever they're called. So they're so comfortable. I definitely have like a dozen of them, all different colors. And I think I've had most of them for like 5, 6, 7 plus years. So they're not new. They don't kind of really go out of style. Back to Wilson again. All good if you don't remember. Sorry, my brain is very fuzzy. Thanks for reading the comments on the stream. Made your day. Hey, made my day too. Oh, currently living in Taiwan and follow your channel for A's coverage. So Wilson, you just made my day. Like, this always blows my mind. The fact that, and let me pull up the world map. Like, you in Taiwan right now, is the sun setting on you for tomorrow already? It's 10 p.m. Like, okay, well, let's just do this. Here in California, it's 10:50 p.m. I guess I could do that there. There we go. It's 10:50 p.m. here in California. But, wait a second. I think I can do one more thing here. Let's see. Let's try that. No, not that, but let's do. There we go. All right. So this is crazy, right? Like, is it like, oh no, the sun is setting. Yeah, the sun is setting on. It's not rising tomorrow. The sun's coming up in Europe right now. That's what it is. So I'm sorry. This is not that hard to read, this world map, this geochron map. So the sun is rising right now, like across the western parts of Africa, as well as like Italy and the Central Europe there. But the sun is setting tomorrow already. Like, you've already lived through your entire tomorrow. That is a trip to me. And the other part about it, like, here's the other, like, from the broadcasting perspective, when I got into this stuff, you were lucky to broadcast off a television tower to everybody in San Jose and the South Bay, and that's it. Or anybody on cable, whatever. But nowadays, the fact that I can reach you in full HD, and it could look and sound as good from my phone right here to you all the way right now in Taiwan, I find that so cool that I can reach you like this from the home studio. So anyway, sorry, Wilson. You didn't need all that, but that always blows my mind that people are tuning in from all around the world like you are. I should use a flat Earth map. Okay, do they make that? Windy City Hockey watching from Illinois. Appreciate that. 5:50 p.m. in Australia. Agree with Wilson on your coverage is awesome. Oh, see, wow. Jeffrey, that's also cool from you. So you know what else? I should get a that's what I should do. I should get the live chat to play over this. I don't think, let me see if I can do that here. I'm gonna do that. Oh, there we go. I figured it out. That is so cool. Anybody else want to tell me where they're watching from? I'll put it up here on the chat right now. So I think Warriors-Kings is potentially the best California rivalry. Yeah, maybe right now. You know, in 10 years ago, I would say Sharks and Los Angeles Kings hockey, pretty intense. Or even Anaheim Ducks, Sharks, 15 years ago. I love the Kings and Warriors thing. And you know what? The fact that it went to 7 games last year, the fact that that was the first year ever that both teams were ever even in the same playoffs, let alone the fact that they got to face each other head to head. And you know what? I'll say it now. I wanted the Kings to at least get their chance in advance, but they didn't. But then my other side was, well, if the Warriors advance, I want them to go all the way and win it all over again because you don't know how many more chances at the dance they're going to get. Obviously, that didn't happen either. So I'll take what I can get, but it was fun to watch those two teams battle in the playoffs, and now they've got a rivalry. Now they've got a little heat tension. I watched the game the other day for the in-season tournament. I love the fact that, and Sacramento's got De'Aaron and Sabonis and, Malik Monk, and obviously you can't counter Steph and Clay and Draymond. By the way, today is their day, 11/30/23. It's such a trip. I didn't realize the Warriors are going to make such a big thing out of that. It's the date, but it's also the opportunity to honor their trio that's been here through it all, and that's really cool. But yeah, I think potentially it's the best rivalry in California right now, sports-wise. You don't really have it in football. You could someday. 49ers, Rams, do that thing all over again. Holy smokes. Skywalker. Oh, hang on. Oh no, I gotta see what I can fix here, Skywalker. The chat is kind of broken. And so you made a major contribution here to the channel, which I really do appreciate. Tonight's final donation to Brody is for my brother, Tim Harris. Tim and I spent all of our paper route, lunch money, to go see Mark McGuire, Jose Canseco, Ricky Henderson, and Dave Stewart when we were kids. Tim was 46 when he passed recently. Rest in peace. You got me in the feels, Skywalker. I'm sorry for your loss, first off. But that's what you just said is the realization that all of us are going to have here. The tradition, the moments that you went to A's games at the Coliseum to like escape life or enjoy life, or moments of life that you'll tie to being an A's fan, like the simultaneous things. Like I remember the summer of 2012 like it was yesterday. It's more than a decade ago. Or even some of the players that were on the team in 2015. That was the year I got married. Or how the team started to turn around in 2017. That's right when my son was born. Like Matt Chapman and Matt Olson had just been called up. And you get the point. I don't need to be so personal, but we all understand there's moments in time and in life that we tie to what was happening with us and what was happening with the Oakland A's. Or a lot of you like me who got to witness the World Series runs, 88, 89, and 90. Yeah, or like where you were October 17th, 1989, getting ready to watch an Oakland A's game in the World Series Game 3 against the Giants at Candlestick Park. And then one of the biggest moments of all of our lives happened if you were around back then. The earthquake, the Loma Prieta earthquake. Like, we tie so many things to the existence of that franchise. And we still yet are realizing the full depth of what happens when it's gone. And so that's, I mean, look, I appreciate the super chat and your comment here, and I'm happy to read it. And I just want to tell you, even more than, you know, your generosity is just the fact that the point you make, and you and your brother Tim, that was something that obviously bonded you together. And it's part of your shared experience and shared existence. And it's a happy memory, right? It's something you'll always cherish, I'm sure. But the fact that it too now is going away, just, it gets me right there. Wow. I didn't see that one coming. At least I didn't. Whew. Sorry, everybody. I know you don't tune in. You don't tune in for all the emotion there, but sometimes that happens. Jim thinks Matt Chapman will go to the Giants. I made a video about that recently. I think there's a lot of reasons why Chappie and Bob Melvin. You know, somebody asked me earlier about, well, what will I do? And will the Giants be part of that equation? Let me tell you one thing absolutely that's going to be part of the equation. I'm going to do a little bit more Giants coverage here on the channel. In fact, I've got one for you, I think, tomorrow morning. Giants video that all of you are going to want to see. And among the reasons of why I'm interested and why I'd be invested in that, you know who their manager is now, right? The dude of all dudes, the ultimate dude. There's a reason our dog is named Melvin. My obsession, my fascination, my appreciation for Bob Melvin has gone on for a very long time. And more than a decade now. And I've got to know Bob pretty well and communicate with him on a pretty regular basis. And so if you're asking me about like pulling for the Giants, like instantly, and I said before about I can't really give up on baseball. I know too many people in baseball. Like, I'm rooting for them. That's so impossible for me to give it up because it's not about the teams or owners or whatever. It's about the individuals that want to win and play the game and are part of the game. And Bob's obviously a big part of that. And guys like Liam Hendricks and Mark Canha, Matt Chapman, Matt Olson, Marcus Semien, they're all in that same breath. They really are. But Bob is special to me. And you know what? If Bob coached and managed a team on the moon, I would root for that team too. So it's not to say like the Giants are far-fetched or whatever, but like he's back in the Bay Area. I went to his press conference at Oracle Park like a month ago, whenever that was, a little more than a month ago. I love Bo Mel. I'll be rooting every single day for every one of his teams. Yeah, absolutely. That is an easy yes for me. All right, let's see what we got here. Yeah, Skywalker, and I hope that I didn't see any reactions or any comments to you in here in the chat, but I hope people were very kind to you about sharing that. That was it's very generous of you and very, very cool of you to share. I'm sure that wasn't easy. All right, let's see what else we got here. Edison, how fun is it in the NBC Sports Bay Area and California office when the Giants, A's, Sharks, and Warriors play on the same night? Oh, man. Edison, my one-time claim to fame, and this happened probably 5 out of 8 years, is that the Sharks and A's would have a game on an overlapping day. And I would do 2 games. I would do pre and post, usually for baseball in the afternoon, like on a Saturday, and then I'd turn around and do pre and post for hockey that night. Those were fatiguing days. And now as a dad and, a little bit older as a, parent, and I'm don't have the energy I used to. Those days are harder for me to pull off. In fact, in recent years, they pretty much put me on, I switch from hockey to baseball or baseball to hockey, and I don't really cross over back and forth. I used to. But to your point, yeah, it's fun to know. And you forgot the Sacramento Kings. A lot of people who are in the Bay Area television market, you don't know that we actually produce all of the Sacramento Kings games from our studio too. So they're bonkers. There's a lot of people running around that place. There used to be a lot more, but those days obviously still bring a pretty big crowd. Jesus wondering, can people try out for the Oakland Ballers? I don't believe so. That would be interesting. I'm not sure how they're going to put their team together, to be quite honest with you. Did I miss a super chat from somebody? From Christopher. Did I miss one from you, buddy? All right, let me take a look. I always feel like I 100% owe it to those who have jumped in the super chat first. So, there we go. Christopher, I found you, buddy. Thank you for pointing that out. And that's where I'm at right now, trying to keep up with everything. And I obviously had that one little moment there. Who did you look up to as a broadcaster growing up? That's an interesting question, Christopher, because I had no clue back then that something like this I would even get into. I got into media and production. I always thought I would be the editor or the producer or the camera person. I didn't really ever know that I would be jumping in front of the lens like this. But I will say this, and it's not who you'd think. It's not even a sports person at all. And granted, I had the ability to admire the work of many talented sports broadcasters growing up around here. But Dave McElhatton, who was a news anchor on Channel 5, KPIX, there was something about him that just seemed so casual. And when I was growing up, for whatever reason, I don't even know if Channel 5 was on our TV that much at home growing up. But as I got older, I always remember looking at him saying, and he was a radio person by trade. And when radio turned into television in like the 40s or 50s or whenever that was, and he transitioned into TV. But how should I say this? And it's not disrespectful. He's passed on, obviously, many years ago. He didn't look like a splashy TV person, right? He looked like the normal dude, probably carrying a little bit extra weight, balding, like normal dude. But he was so smooth and so just natural on TV. Like he didn't try and be flashy. He didn't try and be too slick. I love that about him. And so that's my takeaway in everything I do is that, you want to have some polish, I guess, but it doesn't have to be that. Just be normal and natural. Be a regular person. And so Dave McElhatton of Channel 5 back in the day, definitely on my list of people that at some point I figured out that I want to be like that. Mr. Speed Racer 510, thank you so much for being in the super chat. And let me just quickly say to everybody that hasn't been watching this entire stream, for everybody that's jumping in here on the super chat, I mean, it means so much to me to keep this channel going and to, get some more advanced equipment which I obviously need to fix the title down here. I'm fine-tuning things. Oh, and by the way, I'll be live from Nashville next week with Winter Meetings. So, but, to get all this equipment, it's all funded by the channel paying for itself. I just want to say that's exactly where it goes. So, Mr. Speed Racer, thank you for your contribution. But I've not heard anything about what Oakland is prepared to do next. And I'm kind of in between because at some point you want to be eager for Major League Baseball to consider you. At another point, you don't want to be over eager and knocking their door down too much and be too annoying. I think you want to make very clear, here's what we have. And maybe, quite honestly, the best thing that Oakland could do, if this really is going to happen and the A's are going to transition and depart, maybe the best thing that Oakland could do is set themselves up and spell it out what expansion might look like for them. Here's our two sites. Here's how Howard Terminal could be developed. It might be the more sexy option, but we've got that laid out. We've got it planned out. Here's how somebody could jump in and take over an expansion team. Here's what the Coliseum site might look like. Here's how we would redo it. Here's what we're willing to offer. Here is the path of how to do it. Because all these other cities that might be interested in, look, Nashville to me, easy front runner for Major League Baseball expansion when you get to it. But there's nobody else that is even as far as Oakland is right now in just having an idea, having experience, having some background in this. Yeah, having struggles, but the A's situation is the A's situation. And Oakland was not perfect in all of this either. But if they're here to present right now that they're willing to move forward and that they have terms that they're willing to do and that they've got some state and federal grants that have already been secured for Howard Terminal at least, like put your best foot forward and make it very clear to the point that people could look at you and say, how could baseball not go back to Oakland? How could they not do this? Maybe that's the move. So to answer the question, Speed Racer, I don't know what they're prepared to do. I don't know what they're willing to do. That's what I would do. And that doesn't cost you much. Have a presentation ready. Have it all laid out. Have it ready for Mayor Shang Tao. Have it ready for if there's a new mayor in a couple more years. Literally put it in writing. Here's what Oakland is prepared to do. Here's what we are willing to get behind. Here's how we'll do it. Here's what we aim to do. I don't see what would be wrong with that. It's not the best scenario. Yeah, losing your team wasn't optimal, but that's probably your best move if, in fact, you see groundbreaking in Las Vegas. That's my move. All right, well, now we're totally done with this. Let's officially move on. Here's exactly how we would do expansion. Let's see what else we got on the old chat here. Man, thank you everybody so much for your support tonight and just being here. I have not, I said before, I have not live streamed in 7+ months. I'm a little rusty, a little out of shape here, running out of steam. Oh, it's already, I said 90 minutes. I'm already past it by 10 minutes. Will I cover the A's in Las Vegas? Probably not. I'm from the Bay Area. I don't know what will be offered to me. I don't. But that seems like a hard sell. Bomel. Good to see you. Love him too, Jim. Bradley Pooper. Sorry. Bomel for president. I mean, he is a facilitator, He could get all sides on the same page. As a Rays fan, tell me about Bob Melvin. I'd run through a wall for that dude. Is a player's manager, can work with the front office, can facilitate, stats and sabermetrics and advanced thinking. Finds a way to navigate and negotiate through that. Look, there's a reason that people are talking about, Shohei Ohtani might play for the Giants. Well, you know why? You know what a significant part of that would be? Who Shohei's manager in San Francisco would be. I'm not even kidding about that. No disrespect to Gabe Kapler. But you are getting a seasoned professional in Bob Melvin, just in terms of the managing game. Rank the City Connect jerseys. Ooh, did I do a video on that? But it's been a long time, and there's been some new ones that have come out. Like the White Sox are pretty fancy. The Royals, I love the royal blue. I love the fountain stuff that they've done there. Love the A's City. Ooh, no, they didn't get any. They probably never will. I got to say here, okay, let me say this about the Giant City Connect jerseys. And I know that they've been very successful, like record-wise, over the last couple of years. But the color they went with, like, how the A's have Kelly Green? The tangerine color on the Giant City Connect jerseys are pretty sharp. To the point where I'd love to see more Kelly Green for the A's, or at least I would in Oakland. I would love to see more tangerine, if that's what we're calling it for the Giants in San Francisco. The deep orange, yeah, fine, I get that's your primary color, but work that in. Now, the fog and all the white, like cloudiness on the jersey and the big G, I don't know. But the tangerine color, they nailed. No question about that. How many times are we going to watch Moneyball and cry our eyes out? Yeah, among other things. Let's see what else we got here. Like the old live streams of way back in 2020. Puckeye, how you doing, buddy? Eric, it's good to see you. Remember when we had the bots? Wait, do I have like 1 million viewers? There was one time, that might have been a Twitter live stream, by the way, that I was doing, and there were, was there like 50,000 people watching that stream? And I was like, there's no chance this is actually happening right now. Maybe 15,000, something like that. But we were pretty sure they were all like Russian bots. It wasn't actually that many people. Sharks fangirl, did you miss most of the stream? Oh, well, I don't know. Maybe you turned the old bell off. Look, I'm okay. If people miss the live stream, that's fine. And actually, you know what? In the case of tonight, I forgot to initially, like I usually record these and then I make other videos about them afterwards. I totally forgot to do that. So this one will not probably be played back, but again, shaking the rust off here. But I'll be back doing more live streams in the future. In fact, next week from Nashville, I'll definitely have time to do a few of them. The Vegas Golden Knights sweaters for the Winter Classic are sharp. I want them as official alternate jerseys. Yeah, but did you know that the NHL is not into alternate or extra jerseys because of their changeover to Fanatics? I know people are not happy about that. Oh, the Padres City Connect are dope. I have to agree with you on that. It was a little weird to see Bob Melvin in those like shades of magenta and like teal and all that stuff, and Padres the way it was written. I dug him. I just didn't look at him and say, "Oh, that fits you." It didn't fit him, but it fits his play. It fit his former players, and I would definitely buy a hat if I was down there. Oh, Puck Guy, you have an idea for an A's City Connect? You almost want to collab with Last Time Far to do it, Eric. They would be happy. They'd be happy to have you on board. Oh yeah, that's right. The bots that made us go viral. Oh, because I think I was whispering when the bots came out when I was whispering. Does anybody want me to do an ASMR video? Does anybody watch ASMR, by the way? All right, we are finally getting to the creepy portion of the live chat. Cubs City Connect are solid. Totally agree. Marlins City Connect are undisputedly the best. Okay, Tyson. I'm gonna Marlins City Connect jersey. Oh, that's right. Yeah, they're the the Sugar Kings. Is that right? Is that what they're called? Let me pull them up here. There we go. Oh yeah, yeah. Those are pretty dope. No lie. Yeah, there you go. Sugar Kings. Ooh, with the baby blue helmets like that. Yeah, and you know the other thing, I like the fact that they didn't do, and I'm just looking at this one image right here, that they didn't try and do like striped pants and stuff, because the White Sox City Connect is just a little bit too much. Like the old, yeah. It looks like that. Like that. That's a lot right there. The whole like pinstripes head to toe. That's like a beer league softball team jersey. I like them. I mean, I like the idea. I like what they're doing and like with the font. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to take it away there. With the font and stuff. That's pretty cool. Oh, they made a Tim Raines one. That's sweet. But anyway. Look, and I also like the fact that they're really trying to experiment with the City Connect. They're trying to just do things they definitely normally wouldn't do. Baseball needs that. You know what else? Baseball has needed to do what they did this past season and let players wear whatever cleat colors they want, whatever wristband colors they want, whatever sleeve colors they want. Ah, man, it's finally great to have baseball players like show some personality. Tom saying thank you for the live stream. Hey, thank you for being here. I appreciate it more than you know. The White Sox basically are beer league softball. Here's a comment from Dan. Oakland A's fans are a special breed of fans. When you see a fellow A's fan with their gear on, you know you have something special. We've been put down so much. We are a tough bunch. I do not disagree one single bit. Oh, you know what? Loco, you make a great point here. I was having this conversation with somebody who works for the Giants the other day. We said, what if their new City Connect was like the old school Giants jersey and the font and the old logo? Like, let's see if we can find this here. Like, let's look up, let's find a Matty Williams Giants picture here. Yeah, that's, oh yeah, like the, let's see. But that's not going to show up here well. Why is this so hard to find? I don't want to see the road jersey. Well, here. I guess this is maybe the best I can. This is maybe the best I can do. It's like that jersey right there. There's a road one, or that jersey right there that he's wearing on the baseball card. That's what they ought to get back to. That's the City. Or there you go. It's in black and white, but that's the City Connect that they need. Look at Matty at Candlestick right there. So cool. And I'm happy for him. That's another one too. You know, that's like Bob Melvin was once a Giant. He gets to bring back Matt Williams with him. I'm sorry. I know some of you are on here and this is not your cup of tea. But this is my like personal side and connections, and yeah, that's the conversation I'm into right now. Connor checking in. Just moved to San Jose. Welcome, by the way. Good to have you. Trying to get into hockey. Will the Sharks ever be good again? Yes, Connor, they will. And what's crazy is, like, if you've only known them for a year or two or whatever, I mean, they were so good for so long that long-timers, like residents and natives from around this area, they don't even know what to do right now because they're like, I've never seen this. I don't even know what's happening right now. The rebuild, how long it's been taking, really how deep the hole was that they're trying to build themselves back out of. Yes, they'll be good again. I trust the organization. I trust the people that make decisions and that are in charge. They will get back there. The only question is how long and how fast can they physically do it? And more than that, how can they make sure they do it the right way so it's sustainable so that they set themselves up for another decade of winning an opportunity and contending? So, to answer your question, Connor, they will be. And I'll tell you what's going to be even sweeter is if you right now, if you're somebody who gets in right now, like think how awesome that's going to be when you'll remember that you got in when it wasn't the most popular thing. Because it's a big deal. When the Sharks were doing what they were doing for most of last decade, you can kind of get in at a opportune spot here. Tom, that's a good question. Like there are some, I don't want to diminish the fact that there are some A's fans outside the Bay Area, but I would say not a lot. You know? Yeah, again, I want to pretend like there's none, but I also don't want to make it seem like it's the Yankees or Red Sox or Cubs or Dodgers when they travel. It's not like that. And so that's why when the whole Las Vegas thing gets brought up, you're like, and some people in Las Vegas even have the notion that Oakland fans are going to continue to support the team and like go travel to Vegas because it's Vegas and they might go there anyway, and then they'll watch the A's. And maybe one or two might, but 1 or 200,000 definitely won't. I can tell you that right now. Windy City, I agree with you. The teal buckets with the white road jerseys for the Sharks, they look sharp tonight. The NHL just changed those rules. I thought for San Jose especially, like the good contrast. It looked great. The teal helmets and the jerseys, teal breezers too, look great. Will all the teams run up and down? That is so true in hockey. Think about the Blackhawks. Think about the Red Wings. Those were teams that, I mean, Chicago and Detroit, also in the last decade, powerhouses. And Detroit for even longer than that. I mean, they were really good for a really long time. And it comes and goes. Logan has the injury still. And Nate, that's a good question. I don't know if there's progress on it, if he's just shut down trying to recover, if there's going to be some type of a procedure, like a surgery that needs to happen. I do not know. But we're at the point now, past, quarter of the season, I'm wondering about that too. I'll tell you what else I wanted to do was, if we find out that Logan is going to miss even more substantial time, I probably should have called him first and I'll offer this. But I would love for him on a day. Well, and Jason Demers working with us this year, and Jason, I believe, might be in town. And might be in town in December? No, January. Maybe we'll have Logan come in for a show. If he's still not playing, maybe him and JD, and I'll just sit there and facilitate. What do you think? Think that'd be a good one. I think that'd be worth watching. Watching from work in Brantford, Connecticut. Oh, in Brantford, Connecticut. Is it like 2 a.m.? Is it 2:24 a.m. in Connecticut? What are we doing out there? I appreciate you being here. There's no question about that. As a New Yorker, is Oakland a separate city from San Francisco or just a different borough? It's a borough. I love you. I'm sorry. I don't mean to like it's a good. First off, thank you for watching from New York. But John, no, it's the Bay Area is like a triangle. It's like an upside down triangle. San Francisco is on a long peninsula. It's the tip of a long peninsula. Oakland is out in the East Bay, so you cross a bridge to get over. It's kind of like Brooklyn. You cross the Brooklyn Bridge to go over there. And then San Jose, I don't know how to describe that, but it's the bottom of the bay, the upside down triangle. So it's really three major cities: San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose. And then there's some auxiliary cities, and obviously Napa, Santa Rosa, to the north, Monterey to the south. So it's a big area, and those are the major three cities. So it's a separate city entirely. But thank you for asking. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm going to wrap it up here. Let me just scan through the. I'm going to scan through the super chat, make sure I didn't miss anybody, because that is my worst fear. RD, Jeremy Aguero is actually a very nice guy. You should meet him. Oh yeah, I'm sure he'll offer up that opportunity. I'm sure he loves me. Yeah, for the record, I don't think anybody's going to agree with that. I won't say you're lying. I don't mean it like that. I just got some reservations. All right. What else we got here? I think that might be it. I responded to this before. Somebody asked me pretty straightforward. Have you gotten any negative feedback from anyone related to Major League Baseball about your questioning videos regarding the move? No. In fact, to be honest, a lot of times I see the same things I'm posing and the same questions I'm posing maybe regurgitated by other people, whether they had their own independent thoughts that are just identical to me, or maybe they've seen some of the stuff I've been wondering about and they repeat it, which is fine. And look, I said before, I'm here to do two things: document what's going on, because I think that's an important part of this entire story. But also, this is a platform to ask questions, to cover something that's a little bit underserved and undercovered and it was for a long time by different media entities. So I just want to make sure it gets the attention and it has the proper questions being asked. I never make this personal. I really don't. I try and make this, straightforward as possible. And so I actually give people credit, and people who disagree with maybe my perspectives or my questioning or the things I'm pointing out there, I give them credit for, they're welcome. welcome to explain themselves. They're welcome to have rebuttals and all that stuff and respond. They don't even have to respond to me. They can respond to anybody with answers to my questions, but I think sometimes my questions have answers that maybe don't exist or couldn't properly exist. So I give them credit for not making a bigger deal out of this than they need to. All right. RD, and I disagree with a lot, but I still love that. Thank you. You know what? It's a nearly impossible thing for most people to do and say here in 2023 because just the way the world works. But I appreciate you having that perspective. So, Jim, thank you for your time tonight too. Thank you very much for being here. And I'm gonna work on this live stream thing. Oh, all right. I think we're good. So I think I'm gonna play us out here with the old exit video. First, let me find my remote. How does this sound, by the way? Is this good? Me rummaging through my desk. Is that the noise you wanted to hear? So I got to change it from this broadcast starts soon screen to the old broadcast has concluded screen. There you go. Oh, I muted that. So we're done tonight. And once again, I appreciate everybody for being here. Haven't done this in a while. It took me a little remembering on how to set this up and get it going. I'm actually gonna there's some problems with like copyrighted music on this track here, so I'm just gonna fast forward it. Don't mind me. So I'll give you some different things to look at here. Is that gonna play? Play, you dummy. Yeah, that's how I talk to my equipment around here. All right, we did it. We did the live stream. I only went over by about a half hour, but the broadcast has officially concluded. So some more videos coming out this weekend. Some stuff I think you're going to want to see. Thanks for being here on the channel. Thumbs up down below if you haven't done it already. Give me a hand on your way out. That'd be great. And I'll be live from Nashville for a couple different days next week, so stay tuned for that. Until then, have a great rest of your Thursday evening. And thank you again so much for the support, all right? Take care.